Good afternoon to you. Mark Sutton with HurricaneTrack.com here with your hurricane outlook and discussion for Friday, June 7th, 2019. A real quick look here at the Western Hemisphere shot, North America, South America. A good deal of the Eastern Pacific over here, the Atlantic Basin north of the equator right in here, and we don't see a lot happening. It's been real quiet globally for the last several weeks. Nothing in the Eastern Pacific seen to develop anytime soon. And you see all this through here. That is stable air coming out over the main development region. Pretty high-level clouds streaking off from the west-southwest to the east-northeast across portions of the Caribbean Sea. And then here is our big moisture plume up here over a good deal of the lower 48. We can zoom in and check this out in more detail. And a lot of rainfall, a lot of high humidity values under all this, some flooding issues, just all sorts of nastiness associated with it. You know, the only benefit is some areas are getting some rainfall that is much needed, so that's good. Check this out in the Pacific. Well, let's see if I can get that little arrow to go away down there. There we go. Oh, it's back. What did I do wrong? All right. It'll be 10 years and I'll still have issues knowing the hotkeys and the shortcuts to this drawing program. All right, in the Pacific, this is kind of cool. You can see this on this really high-res satellite picture. Look at that marine layer all down there, even parts of what you would consider, hurricane development area down here, fairly far to the south. Stable air. For sure, these are very low clouds, almost like a fog bank. Very, very low cloud deck, indicating stable air, and you're not going to get any development anywhere near that. This also represents fairly cold water relative to, let's say, down here or in the Caribbean and elsewhere. So, just wanted to show you what that looked like. All right, real quick, National Hurricane Center, nothing in the central, nothing in the eastern, and nothing in the Atlantic Basin. So all three of those areas nice and clear as we head through the weekend. This was interesting from Stu Ostro, and he was posting about the African easterly wave train, that it's getting underway. And you can see this system right here, a little bit of rotation associated with it, some spin or vorticity. It's fairly early in the season still for this to be an issue, but we're really going to have to watch this later. I've seen more and more talk about the strong African easterly jet and the wave train that's going to be setting up, has been set up, the wetness over Africa. I saw Michael Lowry tweeting today about the record low amount of suspended aerosols that are in the atmosphere, what we call the Saharan Air Layer. A very low amount is, you can see even today, that's just low cloud cover there. There's very little dust, and that doesn't that doesn't allow for the ocean to cool. So when you have a layer of dust, it blocks incoming solar radiation. So, it's only June, but in 2 months, this stuff is really gonna matter, I think. And I'm just reading more and more that lends credence to the notion that we may have a very climatologically, what's the word I'm looking for? A season that follows climatology normally. In other words, you don't have much in June and July, probably the first 3 weeks of August, and then bam, it lights up and stays busy through October. That's the kind of season it looks like we're going to have. And I see stuff like this, and it's alarming. It is. And we need to be ready. We need to be aware there's so much going on in the world to draw our attention away from the weather, that the fine line between hyping something and scaring people, we definitely don't want to do that, but making sure we know, oh, wow, there's a little bit more of a risk. It's the same thing if your doctor says, look, you're getting a little heavy, your blood pressure's getting a little higher, right? That's something I dealt with for about a decade, and I ignored it, and it almost killed me last December. Same thing with the weather. You want somebody to tell you, and then you got to pay attention to it, and do something about it when the time comes. Same thing with your health. You get an alarming update from your doctor. Hey, things are not looking so good with your health right now, but before it gets to the point of no return, do something about it. And that's the same thing with the weather. And, the same goes here for what Mr. Knoll tweeted earlier today, that Gulf of Mexico sea surface temperature anomalies are running about 1.5 degrees Celsius above the long-term average. And when we get that in-close development, like Michael, same thing happened last year with Michael. The Gulf of Mexico was warmer than average in early October. And look what happened. We were able to sustain a Category 5 hurricane all the way to the coast. And, had it had another 6 hours over water, it could have been close to 170 miles per hour. Just incredible what the energy levels are. It only just 1.5 degrees more. If you had a bath and it was sitting at 30 Celsius and you took it up to 31.5, you probably wouldn't notice. But the amount of energy that is in that warmer water, now that gets into the physics and other aspects that I did not study while I was in college. I'm more of the impact side, the geography, the people, places, and things, not the mathematical equations as to why. So that's a different story, but trust me, 1.5 degrees Celsius more of energy. And there's some people out there that follow my videos. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is a lot more energy, just 1.5 degrees Celsius, definitely. So something to keep a watch on as we go through the next several months. And these are just the facts. This is not somebody, Ben, myself, Michael Lowry, anybody tweeting this stuff, Stu. We're just pointing out what's happening. We're opening the window to the weather, and we're looking out and seeing what's happening. And when we see this, like from Stu and what Michael Lowry tweeted, I can't say it, can I? Tweeted earlier today, and then what Ben Knoll tweeted, these are important clues as to what could be coming later. And boy, aren't you glad we could know something in advance? That's the takeaway here. So, don't shoot the messenger, as they say. It doesn't mean that somebody's definitely going to get their rear end handed to them, but these are clues, and we need to be vigilant and watch closely as the season progresses, and that's what I'm here for, to help you with. All right, good news. After all that kind of not so good news, the severe weather season, not too bad. Here's the day one outlook. Sometime if it'll load. Should have just kept it on this one. Come on. There we go. Enhanced risk up here in the far northern plains. Marginal down the heart of Tornado Alley. Slight to marginal, small area here in the southeast. Bottom line, it's the warm season in the northern hemisphere. Severe weather still around. Slight risk tomorrow. Oh man, I wish I could just fly out there for that. That would be. Sometimes these small areas like this, you get a couple of supercells, and there's not 5,000 chasers out here, and they can be very photogenic. But for you folks out there that live there, maybe traveling there, or have work interests there, be aware. All right, right in the nation's midsection, more severe weather possible. Not violent and terrible and widespread, but enough in this one little bullseye in parts of Nebraska and Kansas and extreme northeastern Colorado. But this is also going to rain on the watersheds, and that drains eventually through, making its way to the Mississippi Basin and down through there. Bad news there. I tell you what, that's the other takeaway to Ben Knoll's tweet here, by the way. And it's not just about the hurricanes. He talks in close cyclone action, but moisture-laden storms. Any tropical depression. I mean, look at the system that we've got now. This system right here, pulling all that moisture out of that anomalously warm Gulf of Mexico. Very high precipitable moisture because of that. And this outlook, even though the severe weather is not widespread or particularly, high risk, the rainfall could be more problematic as it continues to add up across that region. Finally, day 3, overall just general thunderstorm activity, not any big-time organized areas, so that's good to see there. And then day 4 through 8, probability, predictability, too low, so that's good. All right. I tweeted this at Toucans. It was Toucans of Mexico Beach, and now it says Toucans, Florida, so I guess they're changing things. Toucans own the beach. They were the center point of the shot there in Mexico Beach, if you remember that. and I wanted them to know that we are showing the Tracking the Hurricanes in its full glory on the big screen in Tallahassee this coming Wednesday at the Governor's Square. It's a Regal Cinemas, but it's at the Governor's Square Stadium 12, the only Regal theater in Tallahassee, I do believe, at the Governor's Square location. Just Google that. No, it's not on their app. It's not on their website, the showing, because it is a private event that, because of a wonderful sponsor, the Boggs Law Group out of St. Petersburg, they paid for it, I'm hosting it, so it's not going to show up in their app. You don't buy tickets. It's free, and it's this Wednesday night at the Regal Cinemas, Governor Square Stadium 12 in Tallahassee. We start at 7 o'clock sharp. I'll do a quick introduction, and then we will roll the film, and hopefully folks from Mexico Beach and elsewhere, Port St. Joe, Gulf Pines, St. Mark's, anywhere that was affected, come out. We only hold 100 people in the theater, so I'd hate to have to turn people away, but it's really incredible. It really is, and the feedback that I'm getting from people that have seen it already via Amazon Video, Amazon Prime, which shows up here, or through our YouTube and PayPal purchase option. Look, I've got 11 reviews, and looks like the average is 5 stars. So thank you. If you haven't seen it, you can get it. It's on Amazon in the United States. I was hoping it was in the UK, but I'm understanding that it's not showing up there for some reason. And so it's only a United States thing through Amazon. But on my site, this HurricaneTrack.com/2018, you can go there and use PayPal down here at the bottom, and I'll send you a link on YouTube, and you can watch it anywhere in the world, as long as they support YouTube, right? It's not blocked or whatever. Just depends on where you live, I guess. Trying to make it available to as many people as possible, and with Amazon and YouTube, I think I reach a good deal of the globe that way. Everybody knows what Amazon and YouTube are, right? Unfortunately, the way Amazon works, and I understand it, you have to have closed captioning for the English versions, but if you want it in Japan and Germany, for example, you also have to have closed captioning in Japanese and German, and I can't do that. So, what can I say? But hey, if you live in Germany or Japan and you order it through PayPal, I can send you to a link to it on YouTube. See, we have a workaround. All right, and thanks for everybody that has supported that. I appreciate it. It helps with the funding of future work, and it gives you a look at something that was truly remarkable, especially when you compare and contrast Florence, which is covered first, and then Michael. It's like, wow. And the ironic thing was that Florence killed more people, and it was a Category 1. So, think about that for a second and what all of that means. That's all covered in the documentary. All right, so I'm going to be traveling for the next few days. Got a lot going on. So Monday morning I'll do an update, and then I hit the road for Tallahassee. I got a couple things to do this weekend as well here in the Carolinas. So have a good weekend. Nothing happening in the tropics, so we'll take Saturday, Sunday off unless something happens to pop up, but I doubt it. And you'll hear from me again, maybe even see me if I turn the webcam on Monday. Hey, at least there's less of me to see, right? If you don't like listening to me, not much I can do about that. If you don't like seeing me, there's less of me because I've lost a good deal of weight. I took my doctor's advice finally, kind of had to, and lost a lot of weight since the last time, last December. But anyway, I digress. You will see me one way or the other next week, all right? Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there if you're on the water and boating and whatever with all this rainy, stormy weather around. We want you back Monday and beyond. I'm Mark Sutta. Thanks for tuning in from your side of the screen. We'll talk again early on Monday.